Hello everyone, my name is Linda. I am here again with a different and beautiful story. Before we delve into our story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like our video. Squirrel Nutsy and Owl Flap's Fantastic Adventures, The Lost Forest. On a sunny morning, Squirrel Nutsy and Owl Flap embarked on a new exploration journey into the depths of the forest. As always, they moved forward full of joy and curiosity, and unexpectedly, they found themselves in an unfamiliar forest. This forest was very different from the one they knew. The trees were taller, the leaves brighter, and the flowers more colorful. Every step drew their attention to a different sound, a different movement. While Nutsy hopped around in excitement in this new and magical environment, Flap moved more cautiously. Flap was aware of the mysterious and unknown aspects of the forest and knew they needed to be careful. As they ventured deeper, they noticed their surroundings changing. The light struggled to filter through the dense canopy of leaves, creating dark areas here and there. Squirrel Nutsy and Owl Flap seemed to have lost their way in this mysterious forest. Suddenly, they heard strange sounds coming from the forest. These sounds belonged to animals they had never heard before. Excitedly, Nutsy started running towards the direction of the sounds, with Flap following more cautiously. As they moved through the forest, they encountered tropical birds, colorful butterflies, and fast-moving small mammals. With every step, they began to discover the secrets of this new world. However, as they ventured even deeper, they struggled to remember which path to take back. Squirrel Nutsy and Owl Flap were truly lost now, but this situation did not break their adventurous spirit. On the contrary, it increased their desire to explore this mysterious forest. As they ventured deeper into the lost forest, Squirrel Nutsy and Owl Flap found themselves in a nature they had never known before. Every step brought a new discovery, every corner a new surprise. The chirping of tropical birds, the flight of colorful butterflies, and the mysterious animal sounds surrounded them. Nutsy noticed a strangely looking monkey playing on the branches of a tree and approached it excitedly. The monkey looked at Nutsy curiously and threw a few fruits. Nutsy was happy with this gesture and shared the fruits with Flap. Flap, on the other hand, discovered interesting tracks on the forest floor. These tracks belonged to a large and unfamiliar animal. Flap decided to follow the tracks. Squirrel Nutsy was excited to follow Flap. As they followed the tracks, they discovered the mysteries of the forest through the dense and lush vegetation. After a while, the tracks led them to a water source. There, a group of capybaras was drinking water calmly. Squirrel Nutsy and Owl Flap watched the peaceful scene of these large rodents and realized how diverse and rich life in the forest was. However, they had forgotten that they had lost their way in the beauty of the forest. The forest was so vast and complex that they struggled to remember where they came from and how to return. Squirrel Nutsy and Owl Flap felt a bit anxious for a moment but did not lose their adventurous spirit. As the sun began to set, the sounds of the forest changed. The sounds of night animals began to be heard. Squirrel Nutsy and Owl Flap moved to find a safe place to spend the night. While venturing deeper into the lost forest, Squirrel Nutsy and Owl Flap found themselves in a completely unfamiliar nature. Each step brought a new discovery, each corner a new surprise. The chirping of tropical birds, the fluttering of colorful butterflies, and the mysterious animal sounds surrounded them. Nutsy noticed a monkey with a strange appearance playing in the tree branches and approached it excitedly. The monkey curiously looked at Nutsy and threw him some fruits. Nutsy was happy with this gesture and shared the fruits with Flap. Flap, meanwhile, discovered interesting tracks on the forest floor. These tracks belonged to a large and unfamiliar animal. Deciding to follow them, Squirrel Nutsy was excited to accompany Flap. As they followed the tracks, they explored the forest's mysteries through its deep and dense foliage. Eventually, the tracks led them to a water source. There, a group of capybaras was quietly drinking water. Squirrel Nutsy and Owl Flap watched the tranquil scene of these large rodents, realizing how diverse and rich life in the forest was. However, amidst the forest's beauty, they had forgotten that they were lost. The forest was so vast and complex that they struggled to remember where they came from and how to return. Squirrel Nutsy and Owl Flap, though momentarily anxious, did not lose their spirit of adventure. As the sun began to set, the sounds of the forest shifted. The voices of the nocturnal animals began to emerge. Squirrel Nutsy and Owl Flap set out to find a safe place to spend the night. Squirrel Nutsy and Owl Flap were in the heart of the lost forest as night fell. The light of the stars in the sky illuminated the mysterious silhouettes of the forest. The duo hurriedly moved to find a safe place, surrounded by the sounds of the forest's nightlife. After a while, Flap flew to the top of a tall tree and surveyed the surroundings. From high up, he saw the stars shining above the forest and a beam of light in the darkness in the distance. This light seemed like a guiding signal. Flap called down to Nutsy and decided to move towards the light. As they progressed, the forest began to look more open and familiar. Squirrel Nutsy and Owl Flap, on this journey, encountered many new animals and plant species, unraveling some of the forest's mysteries. Finally, when they reached the source of the light, they found themselves in familiar territory. The light was from a shepherd's campfire at the edge of the forest. Squirrel Nutsy and Owl Flap felt safe and rested for a while around the fire. Throughout the night, Squirrel Nutsy and Owl Flap listened to the nature around them, discovering the forest's mysterious sounds and melodies. When morning came, the sun's rays filtered through the forest, waking them up. The duo found themselves on the edge of the forest, in safe and familiar lands, greeting the start of a new day. This adventure taught Squirrel Nutsy and Owl Flap not only about getting lost in the depths of the forest, but also about the importance and beauty of discovering nature's wonders. As they set off for their own homes, the sparkle of adventure in their eyes and the endless secrets of the forest in their hearts remained. Our story ends here. Friends, if you are curious about the continuation of the story and other stories, subscribe to our channel. Wishing you always live your dreams. Goodbye.
Our story ends here, friends all. If you're curious us about new stories, subscribe to our channel.